take full accountability for when I do something wrong. You don't think so?
You did it wrong.
Just generally,
You did it wrong. You got some confessions?
No. Ain't nothing in that cup.
I just wanna. You good at apology. I mean, you good at communicating. We came a long way.
I think I've always.
We never had.
I want to say I don't think. I think the one of my.
Think about it. The way that we met, we spent hours talking. So I don't think it would have went past that if you wasn't a great communicator.
But I think.
You get what I'm saying? Like you literally.
I think one of the good and bad qualities that I have is that I'm very bold and blunt as well.
What do you think is a bad quality?
Because some people, you got tough skin. Some people don't like the truth. Like a lot of people don't like the truth. Most people want to be lied to, and people even with certain situations, like when I be like, they be like, "Yo, you said that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I said that." Like people don't believe. Like
like the stories that we share with each other or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, even just recently, like with the situation, and I'm not gonna say names, and I was like, yeah, I told them that, and then when they spoke to the person, they was like, yo, I didn't think you told them like that. The fuck you mean? Like I'm not gonna lie. Like I told. So like if like for hypothetically, right? If it's a story like when I was younger, right? The nigga's like, that nigga was like, what? That nigga was like, what? Shut up, suck my dick. They be like, people will leave that up about that he told him suck his dick, right? And I be like, what? I swung on a nigga. The nigga caught me back, right?
I got snuffed before.
Yeah, no, like even shit like that. They'd be like, wait a minute, like, oh nah, the nigga, I ain't lying, nigga caught me with a good one, but I knocked that nigga out, right? They won't believe that I put the details of my flaws of what happened to me, because the average person wants to be the hero 100% in their story.
Yeah.
Y'all saw that.
I said, me getting snuffed. I was like, that was a wake up call. I think that's why I'm so on high alert. How we be so dirty to everything. I was like, because I felt I was untouchable. Because I was like, oh, bitches knew not to play with me. But it was one of those, like, yeah. My sister was stalling to punch a bitch in the face, and a bitch caught me lacking.
Yeah. But that'll do it, though.
You know what happened? Now we fucked up. But it's still, though, it shouldn't even have gotten to that because I should have been on point. But, yeah. But people like, oh, they were like, nah, that bitch ain't snuffy. She tried to snuff me. I slipped and fell on my Crocs. Yeah, I had my knee touched me. I got back up. Woo, woo, woo. Nah, that bitch snuffed me, and it went down. She should have knocked me the fuck out. Is what she should have did because But
she paid for it. Yeah. So, but
that was crazy. Josie, Maria, Shariba. It was everybody was there that day.
But people don't. People don't understand the importance of honesty.
Yeah.
And truth hurts, as cliche as it sounds. And like even with that, a lot of people be in relationships with people that they can't be honest with. And I noticed that. Like, you know, I hear it a lot when I talk to certain people. I'll be like, why aren't you being honest about a lot of things that's like, for me, I don't understand it. Like, I'll be like, I could never not tell this to Shelina. Like, I would be furious if Shelina didn't tell me this, right? You know, which leads to another thing. I'm like, most people are with each other for survival, especially in this economy. And they're very unhappy, but because they don't want to live either they don't want to live a lower life, man or woman, because they can't afford it.
Alone?
No, not alone. Like, let's say they live in a luxurious life because they splitting bills or they have dual income. They don't want, if they live alone, their level of standards will drop, men and women. And I know more men than women that are staying where they at because of that. And it's scary to know that somebody would tolerate being that unhappy or not wanting to be around somebody just because they don't want to, whether it be alone or whatever. And I'm like, it's scary. Ooh, excuse me. It's scary to me to see people at a age where they shouldn't be at, like the 30s and 40s, living like that. That's something that I think people should therapy. A lot of people should go to therapy to figure out if they really don't want to be with that person, because time is just going like this. Mm-hmm. Like somebody will tell you something, they won't realize. Like I had somebody tell me, like, yo, you know, it's been 4 years you've been telling me this, right? And they like, they don't even realize it. And then I said, I told you to go to therapy 4 years ago. And they like, oh shit. But now it's to the point where now it's done. Yeah, because they let 4 years go by with them pretending and just not speaking to each other or not being honest about certain things. And a lot of men don't like therapy, right? And I noticed that like women be more eager to do it. Men like, and I hate that, especially black men. Black men feel like therapy is weakness. Like, motherfuckers love, you know what motherfuckers love to say? And the niggas who make the worst fucking decisions. I'm my own therapist. Oh. Nigga, you are the worst motherfucking therapist in the world for yourself. If you and I used to.
I'm doing it myself, shit.
Nah, I think therapy works because you get to get an unbiased.
If you have very logical and unbiased friends, though.
So yeah, that helps, but you still need a therapist.
I'm talking like this to give you insight, but like you definitely need couples. Need to go to a therapist.
Both though, I think people need individual therapy and couples therapy, and the reason why, especially for couples who've been together 5+ years, and 5 is the low number, right? Really 10+ years, I think. But even after 5 years, that's a half a decade is a long time with an individual, right? You're gonna dislike each other at some point, right? And people like to have this fantasy world where dislike each other. Yeah, it's fucking human nature. And when I say dislike, people think dislike means you want to break up. Dislike, no, you're gonna dislike. Yeah, it's human nature. Like it's
everybody's on their own individual journey.
Yes.
And like I said, the growth, and you like, this motherfucker's annoying as hell during this phase right now. She might be annoying as hell during this phase right now.
I was talking about that, even with that, right, with sex, ironically speaking, the during phases, and I was like, there's a lot of women who don't want to have sex when they're going through like little tips with their significant other, and that turns into that night. It goes into weeks, right? And then also I've learned, I was like, oh, the biggest form of manipulation, right, other than being argumentative, right, is shutting down and not wanting to say anything. To me, that's worse than arguing with somebody. Like, and a lot of people, men and women, do that, where they just get to the point where, you know what? They shut down. Yeah, they shut down. They don't speak. I think that's the biggest manipulation, and it's selfish, and it creates a lack of boundaries between the individuals. Because to me, if we can't address the issues in a normal time frame of it, I don't want to. This is not just romantic relationships, all relationships. Your friends, your mother, whoever, right? We should be able to have a conversation within a certain time frame.
Because if someone tells you, I'm not ready to have that conversation yet.
I feel like you can only pull that card once in the blue. Like, and you got people who pull that card, and then, like to your point earlier, now we never have the conversation. And then now
you see me now, you feel like you over it, and I'm like, bitch, I done lost attachment to you.
Right? No. But even if you don't, what happens is,
I do.
Right? That's for yourself. Yeah. So for me, what happens is it'll spark out later. Like we'll be back. Oh, cool. And then that shit, it just hit me. Like when you do something similar to that, it's like, oh, you know what? I forgot I was supposed to be fucking with your ass like that anyway. For that shit you did a week, 2 weeks, whatever, a month.
I just went through something like that, but that's like
so you know. So with that, but that comes from unresolved communication. You know what I'm saying? Like and those are uncommunicated expectations as well. So that's one of those things. And I was like, oh, couples don't do that enough. And that's why they create those moments where they just go into those, and they want to uncouple, because it's not, to you it might be this one thing, but it's this one thing, a series of events of this one thing that I didn't address, but now I'm addressing it. And even in that, right, so if it happened, let's say 5 times, right, and then on the 5th time I address it, but not only do I address it, I bring up the other 4 times you did it, and people don't respect that in some situations because they feel like, oh, why you ain't been say something? Oh, you was harboring this, you was keeping score. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that becomes, men and women in most cases, men don't address every little thing for the sad part, because most men got too much other shit going on. They got time for that shit. But back to what I was saying originally, sex is important for the relationship. So women are different from men. And I tell all the women that I'm cool with, I'm like, yo, blowjobs keep men happy. But women, especially black women, they be like, "What? I'm not giving nobody no blowjob if I'm not." It's always
like the person that they're in a relationship with.
But they always say if they're upset or if they're unhappy or if they. And I was like, you should never let your man leave the house without feeling like he's satisfied.
What if she's upset and then she wants to do something for her?
She still needs to initiate that though, because
she got to initiate it.
If she's upset, hell yeah.
So, wait, hold on.
So let me ask you a question.
Wait. So if she's upset, she got to initiate it with you. But then if y'all had
no, that's not what I'm saying.
She got to initiate.
No. That came out wrong. What I'm saying is, if you know the type of man you got, right, and you know, like, all right, let's say he tries to get up on you. Because you're upset about some shit earlier, I know he don't think he getting some. I think that's very selfish, especially in a marriage, right? Because you signed up for.
Are you speaking of normal tips, like just regular household debates?
I feel like it shouldn't matter.
In the case of, I'm gonna bring in the case of infidelity.
No, remove infidelity. That's a whole different animal.
Okay. All right.
I'm talking about regular.
Bitches is gonna be like, "Oh, you're not touching me," which is understandable.
That's different. Yeah,
regular.
But but let's think about infidelity. How long is the statute of limitation?
I don't know, because if y'all not at the point where y'all talking about working on it,
that's my point.
You just got caught, and 2 days later you trying to be like, "Hey, baby," she's gonna look at you like, "Motherfucker, you are out your rabbit mind."
But then you gotta ask yourself, right? And not saying I'm saying that. Hold on, just right. In the case of that. How do you think you're going to stop a man from cheating if you continue not to give him sex?
But if everything was happening, if she was doing everything she needed to do.
In most cases, she's not, though. Let's call it what it is, right? In most cases, it's not that, right? And this is where that disconnect
comes. In most cases, it's not that?
No, because man or woman, right? When women, especially women, most women and most respectable women ain't fucking two niggas close in time frame. Let's start with that, right? So if she's sleeping with somebody outside the house, if she's a respectable woman, 9 out of 10 times, she ain't fucking in the house.
Well, all right, but we're talking about the man right now.
See how this is about the man? But I'm just saying. I'm going to get to the man. I'm going to get to the man.
This is a monogamous couple.
That's my point.
Right? That everything is good, great.
Mm-hmm.
She's doing everything she needs to do as far as like whatever the man wants, satisfying him and stuff. And then now infidelity occurs.
Yeah.
Men are just greedy, right? Not all being.
I don't think that is greedy. I think it's just natural for them.
Spontaneous.
I think monogamy is not for most.
Somebody throws them some bait. They take the bait, right? I'm just saying though. I can think that monogamy is not for humans just generally, right?
So why would you think it's not for women?
What do you mean not for women? I think it depends on the person.
I asked you a question. Why do you think it's not for women?
Why are we switching the subject?
I'm not switching the subject. I'm just asking you a question.
You just brought this up because you feel like, men are not greedy. This is what men have said, right? Oh no, I don't be out or whatever like that. Sometimes I just feel like it. I don't even know why I did this, girl. Whatever the situation is. So everything is fine and dandy. That occurs. The person catches wind, and then we go, oh, so you feel like she's gonna go? I was doing everything.
So there's two things. So I was like, my question to that was, how long do you wait, right? Because you brought up infidelity. I was saying just tips. Like there's so many other
when
tips.
You said that, I was like, right? That makes sense.
There's women who be like, oh, I'm tired because I work all the time. Oh, right? The solution, like the shit that I hear, right? We'll get back to the infidelity.
Kids.
I had to cook, I had to clean, whatever it is, right? They feel like they shouldn't be obligated, and I hate to use the word obligated, but they feel like they shouldn't make time for sex with their husband. And women love to joke about how I don't take, but the average man don't last but 7 minutes any fucking way. So it's like, to me, it's equivalency when people make excuses for not working out, right? I don't have time to go to the gym, but they sit on their fucking phone for 80 hours a fucking week, but then they go, oh, I don't have time, and then they avoid sex with their husband, and then now.
So we're speaking with no infidelity.
That's what I'm talking about.
No infidelity.
So now so even him bringing it up, right? So let's say he bring it up, she gets an attitude.
I've expressed this one too many times. I don't understand why anyone should have issues when it pertains to sex if there's no infidelity